Hey guys, Brian here, and welcome back to the channel. And this week's episode is a solo episode because it's hard to schedule a lot, but I also just wanted to talk to you guys about my experience because I don't think a lot of people here know about who I am, what I do, and everything like that, because I just pretty much started out just interviewing guests and all that, and which is all cool, but I feel like you need a little bit of background on me, and which is fine. So here we are. I'm Brian. I'm a nurse of 12 years. I work in New York City. I work in the EP lab, and I've amassed over $1.3 million in my net worth, and that is a mixture of stocks, crypto, and real estate. And I made most of my money, most of my wealth from crypto, not gonna lie. And then I used a lot of my gains from crypto to buy real estate. And I've always been investing in the stock market. So pretty much it just continually grown and grown and grown. And in doing so, in knowing that my net worth is over that 7-figure mark and my accounts are growing and compounding, it's made my nursing life so much better. Because I used to suffer from a little bit of anxiety, never had to take meds or anything. Going into my first nursing job, I used to work on a heart failure floor, and so I was day shift, so we'd start at 7, right? But I would get to work, get to the hospital at 6:15. I'd actually go to the unit, find out what my assignment is, and then I would go to the library, the hospital library, and I would start looking up my patients because I was so anxious about how I was going to take care of these people. What is my work list going to look like? So I kind of planned my day, and it did help for a while, but when you just do so many 12-hour shifts in a row, you just get burnt out, especially that it takes me 40 minutes to an hour to get into the city. So my 12-hour days are actually 14-hour days. So it just started taking a toll on me. Plus I was so into I need to make as much money as possible. And this was in 2012. And I was doing overtime too when I was able to. So I was just burning myself out to the max. But luckily for me now, a lot of those sacrifices that I did of doing those overtime, so obviously the percentage that went to my 403b and the extra money that I had that could go towards my taxable brokerage accounts, they've grown significantly and is putting me in the place that I am today. And the anxiety was huge, and a lot of bad things happened on that floor. I was attacked by a patient. One of my best friends that I used to work with on that floor ended up getting really sick and actually passed away. So even though I ended up liking that floor a lot because I made a lot of good friends, we all started nursing together, our careers together. Obviously I lost one of them to cancer, and then slowly all the people I really liked working with finished their NP or decided to go to the CTICU so they could pursue CRNA, or they went to the cath lab, EP lab, and they left me there. That's how I felt. So I started seeing that I didn't have anyone around me that I liked really working with other than the super senior nurses, but no one my age. We all used to go out for drinks or get dinner after work, but there's no more that camaraderie. So I was able to finally leave myself to the EP lab, and obviously that was a whole new change of work. I knew cardiac because I was on a heart failure floor, but I didn't know it that specific from the electrical standpoint, the rhythm standpoint. So there where I worked, there was a lot of senior nurses there. So I was 26 at the time. When I transferred in, the next closest person to me in age was 3 years older than me. So it was a tough transition, but it ended up being great because this is a place that had break relief, and you're guaranteed to get your breaks. And for me, I felt better being a nurse, because on the floor that I was working at, sometimes it just felt like you were just like pushing meds and wiping ass, you know? And it didn't fulfill me, and this actually does, because like I could help in the procedures of putting in like pacemakers, helping with the care of a patient going for like an ablation to get rid of any like serious arrhythmias, like AFib, VT, and all that. Like you're actually a part of the team that cures the person, and it made me feel really good about what I was doing, and I was super happy about it. So I did have anxiety there too, and obviously with like the more senior nurses, there was some bullying, but over the years I've been there, I feel like I've made a name for myself, got a lot of respect from these nurses, and some of those nurses left, and now I'm like super comfortable where I'm at. And to be honest, I love where I'm at. And I was in NP school when I transferred, and then I decided that it just wasn't for me. And I'm not knocking anyone going to NP school. It just wasn't for me. The only reason why I went into NP school was because I started hating that floor that I was on. And I thought the only way off of it is to become a nurse practitioner. And like, I loved the clinical. I just hated a lot of like the classes, like the writing the papers and all that. Like if it was just strictly clinical and learning a little bit from there, then I would 100% be an NP right now. But I just don't see myself doing it right at this point. Like, would I go back? Maybe, but I highly doubt it, because I did the math for where I work, not like overall, like how high like the income could be for nurse practitioners. Because I know a lot of nurse practitioners that work in private practice and do like aesthetics type stuff, where they're making ridiculous money, or they're more in like the director type roles and they're making like high 200,000s. But if I'm just talking about like nurse practitioner working in the hospital providing care, since you're kind of like pigeonholed to work 410s, the math didn't math for me, because my shifts are 13 shifts a month, so that means 3 shifts a week, except for 1 week. And if I worked that 4th shift, it's overtime. So overall, I would probably be really close. Well, not probably, because I did do the math. I was like maybe like right at the even point of, if I worked 4 days every week, so that's 3 overtimes a month, I pretty much made exactly what an NP made with less burden. I didn't have to take work home. I was doing the nursing job. I wasn't the provider doing all the orders, making all those big time decisions. And I was cool with that. And I'm very cool with that right now, because I like what I do. And then it gave me the freedom to think about things right when I clocked out. Like, what could I do to make more money? What could I do with this time? And that's where I started doing a lot more stock trading, a lot more crypto trading, looking into real estate, learning all these skills, becoming ACLS and BLS instructor, learning how to be a content creator, making YouTube. And that's where I ended up figuring out how I want to live my life, and also made me be better at what I do, because I was never burnt out anymore, because I had so many things working for me outside of work. And in doing so, I felt like I was leveraging my work for the money, for the time, for the insurance, to help me fund what I wanted to do, this. And to be honest, it was probably the best decision I ever made, was to transfer and to go into nursing, because of the time freedom. And that's only just coming from a me perspective, not the father perspective, not the husband perspective. And that's what I just wanted to get into, because I think nursing was probably the best decision of my life, even though social media sometimes doesn't dictate it. I get a lot of comments saying like, oh, you don't really work a real job, you're not a real man, and all that stuff. But I think it was the best decision I ever made, and I'm super happy that I did it. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know have you ever went through anxiety going to work? Let me know. What do you do outside of work to calm your mind? Let me know, because I like hearing these stories, and this is like the real talk that I want to get into as well. I love interviewing people, talking with people, but sometimes I just want to talk to you guys as well. And I feel like it's also like a good venting session to me, because I feel like I do have a lot of experience under my belt, and I would love to share that with all of you. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.